Speed farming masteries. How fast could you complete all of the masteries for one champion by doing it manually? Obviously, I'm not talking about doing 800 gems for all masteries because I have said it before, that's a bad deal. In fact, it's about 890 gems for all masteries if you account for the amount of experience you are not going to get by doing your champion manually. There's also a lot of silver involved that you would not be getting by spending all those gems. So today, we're going to cover that. We're going to look at two champions that I have that can do this relatively fast, and then we're going to go over sort of like theoretically how fast we could get this to work. All that being said, let's jump right into today's video. So let's start with a quick run of the champion I am using right now, which is Mountain King. Mountain King is a lot faster than the champion I was using before, which was Martyr. There are a lot more champions that can solo Minotaur 15. It's actually not that hard when you reach end game. Sile of the Drakes can do it. Mashal apparently is very good and can do it very fast. Bad Alcazar can do it, but he's also about 2 minutes for me. So I was using a Martyr for the longest time, and then somebody pointed out on stream last week that literally I could be using Mountain King as is and it would be a lot faster. And in this case, my champion has 150 speed, right? So it's not just about speed, it is all about firepower. How fast can you kill those champions? Can you one-shot all of them with all the skills of, let's say, this specific champion right here, right? So I do have another one on my account, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, that can do this a lot faster, but he's way too glass cannon and it fails probably half the time, so I can't exactly rely on that, right? The whole point of doing this manually is that you wouldn't exactly be wasting a ton of energy to get it done. Still, I showed a Excel spreadsheet not too long ago to explain why it is much better to do this manually. So let's go over that first, and then we're going to go over the gear of this champion, and then we're going to go over the theoretical other champion I could be using to make this a lot faster. All right, so I have done a couple of sort of like full masteries on different champions a while ago. I did this table right here. Basically what this shows is that I had a different amount of runs to get all masteries, but I've said the worst case scenario is about 153 runs. All right, so start with that number one. Then for the time frame here, I had said it really just depends on how fast your champion is. Of course, if you start with more energy, it is going to cost you a lot less refills, right? So your gem cost is going to be lower. So just to level everything out, what I've done for you guys today is say, what if I start with 0 energy and I use one of my fastest champions possible? I could get this down to about 2 hours, all right? So 2 hours, and it would cost me about 660 gems. I would buy all the energy at the same time. I would set 153 runs, let's say with an auto clicker, and I would not waste any time in between each battles, and therefore I could literally get this down to 2 hours. If you want to use an auto clicker, that is up to you. I'm not encouraging you to do it, although I did hear that apparently Plarium doesn't exactly do anything about it, all right? So then there's also the question of silver, because you are getting silver each run. You're getting 7,420 silver per run. Therefore, after 153 runs, you're getting about 1.1 million worth of silver. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always short on silver and I would love to have more, so I'm totally going to take this, right? Then there's also the question of experience. If you're doing a 4-man team plus your champion that needs the masteries, you're going to get less experience on that one champ. You get more experience if you have less of the other champions on your team. So what I'm looking at here is a 1+1, your farmer and the one getting the masteries, all right? So you get less experience overall. If you would have 4 other champions and they're getting experience, you would have something like 16,000 total experience, right? Because they would each be getting 4,152 XP. But if there's only one other champion in there getting experience, he's only going to get 10,000. I say only 10,000, but that's all right. The whole point of this is to speed farm your masteries for one champion as quickly as possible. If you put 2 in there, they're gonna have full level before they have full mastery, so you gotta keep running them on the Minotaur while they're max level to finish off the masteries. So what I've tried to do here is to not waste anything, in the sense that my champion will be done full masteries from rank 6 level 1 to level 57. All right, so that's what I call here my sort of like speed farming, just to give some context for you guys. Then there would also be, if let's say you spend 800 gems for all masteries, the extra amount of gems or energy you would need to spend to level that champion from level 1 to level 57, all right? So that's about a couple of runs in the campaign. I said about 37 runs, assuming a 3-man team with double XP. You would still generate some silver there as well. So what I've explained down here, okay, so this is the little conclusion of this spreadsheet right here, is that in about 2 hours, I would spend 660 gems and I would generate 360,000 silver, the difference between the Minotaur and what I would have generated in the campaign. All right, so that little difference means I'm only really getting an extra. But the instant method, you're spending 800 gems for all masteries, and you're spending an extra 90 gems on refills to level that champion to 57. So therefore, you're spending more than what you truly are spending. All right, so in that sense, I will always say that it is not a good deal to do 800 gems for all masteries unless you are just starting out and you're doing it on your starter champion, or you're doing it on your first legendary you pull, and it's going to skyrocket your account forward. I understand that. This is not the point of this. The point of this is to say that at some point, resist the temptation of just doing 800 gems for all masteries, because it is a better savings on your resources, right? So that's the whole point. All right, so all that being said, now let's go over this champion and how I got this guy down to do this in 1 minute. It's roughly 1 minute. It's maybe 1 minute and 10 seconds, maybe 1 minute and 20 seconds every now and then. But this is not my fastest guy. This would still mean it's about 3 hours. All right. So my Mountain King is a 3-hour speed farmer for all masteries. And these are the stats that I have for this. So 95,000 total HP, 150 speed, 100% crit rate, 256% crit damage, 300 resistance. Good enough, right? So this works in a shield set. All the masteries, skills, are done on this champion. And as for the masteries, I have Helm Smasher. So obviously there is a lot of RNG in that. If you get a lot of Helm Smasher procs, it is going to be faster. And so, but for now, that's roughly what it is. There is another champion though, and I'm going to show you guys a quick clip that could theoretically bring this down to even under 2 hours for me. So in my Excel spreadsheet, I showed 2 hours because this is, I think, what perhaps most champions or most of the really good champions could achieve. But there's a few ways that you can push this even further, and let me show you that quick clip here for you guys. So it is a Septimus, all right? So pay attention to my Septimus right here, completely annihilating all of these champions. And we're gonna do this and wait for it, in a very, very fast time. I don't know if this is the fastest champ that can do this in the game. That's why I would love to know from you guys in the comments below, how fast could you get a champion to solo Minotaur 15? And I'll also specify one quick thing about this. I have spent real life money to get this to work. In a sense, I have about a $4,000 PC running behind this on unlocked FPS, all right? So a lot of you will say, I'm never gonna get that on my phone. Yes, I understand, but I just want you guys to understand that about that clip so you don't think that I'm trying to mislead you guys into something, okay? So I don't typically run without with unlocked FPS. I'm always at 60 FPS, but if you do unlock this on the PC app, it will speed up the game. So I got as low as 27 seconds with a Septimus, which had the gear of my Foley. So he doesn't currently have it because I'm not using Septimus for the time being. But when I do want to farm Spider 20, or let's say I would want to do Minotaur 15, I would use the gear from the Foley. Problem is, it's 2 glass cannon. He only takes 2 hits from the boss and then he dies. So I've tried to play around with the masteries. I went with Helm Smasher. I wanted to get Life Drinker. I thought maybe this would help. Evil Eye also would help a little bit for the boss himself. So obviously a lot more RNG involved in this as well, but I would need a couple more defense points, right, or HP points for me to survive. But still, you guys get the picture. Is that a Septimus, for example, is about a 30-second champ to solo Minotaur 15 with one other champion. You almost want your other champion to die immediately so that your Septimus is a little bit faster to do this, okay? So guys, that is going to be it. A quick snapshot of the Great Hall in case, you know, you're trying to compare stats. But let me know in the comments below, how fast have you gotten your solo Minotaur farmer in terms of seconds? Hopefully you've learned something. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys later.